Hey everyone, Dennis Kaye here. It is Thursday, June 3rd, and I was just going through my email inbox, responding to different clients' questions, following up on closings, just writing up deals, trying to be a good ambassador in general to Belize. And I came across this email here that a potential client sent. Looks like he's currently living in Toronto. He has a family, and he asked, let me see, 9 questions here, some of which I'll answer in detail here. Others, I'll refer this particular client to a YouTube video of mine that I've covered this in more detail in the past. But I thought there were some pretty good questions here, and questions that you also might be having if you're looking to move to Belize with a family and you're trying to decide between Ambergris Caye, Placencia, or Cayo District, or Kekauker, or one of the many beautiful areas of Belize. So let's just kind of start right off here. The question number 1, can a waterfront house be bought in Placencia for under $300,000? Now, to answer that question, I would suggest that you go to the RE/MAX website. The RE/MAX guys down in Placencia have a large part of the market share, and I know them to be very professional. So go to the RE/MAX in Placencia. I think it's called RE/MAX First Choice, and check out that website. There's a difference between waterfront. For example, you could be looking at waterfront being on the ocean. It could be in sea, but also there could be waterfront on the backside of Placencia, which would be on like the lagoon side. There's different canal systems as well that you might be interested in. But it sounds like, for 300,000, for the most part, that's at the low end of anything on the water. Now, what you might be able to do, and you can certainly do this on Ambergris Caye, is you can buy waterfront property for between, let's say, 150 and 300 for the land itself, depending on if it's Caribbean front, bay front, canal front, and so forth. And also depends on if it has road access or no road access, on grid, off grid. But you can buy vacant land for around that price and then have a house built. Placencia's properties are a little bit less than Ambergris Caye. But again, go to the RE/MAX website down there, or check out Boris Mansfeld Associates. They also have a large market share down there, and just do a search. You're going to be able to find out real quick if anything in that 300 price range works for you, or if you're going to have to up your budget to 450, or 500. Number 2, what is the rate of appreciation of property at this time? It is absolutely impossible for me even to begin to answer that question, because Belize is a very undeveloped market, right? So it's just like in the States. You could say, what are properties doing in the States? Well, a lot of cities, they're, going up in price by, 25, 50% or more. Other areas aren't going up at all. So if, for example, on Ambergris Caye, we've seen property values increase greatly. First of all, just because prices are going up, more people are coming down, and prices are naturally appreciating because of the demand. Also because the supply is getting very low. And I imagine it's the same thing happening in Placencia, is that over the past year, we've seen a 2 to 3 to 400% increase in the amount of buyers coming down and the amount of closings. In fact, I just had a Zoom meeting with Alberto's office a few days ago, and they are just completely mind-boggled by the amount of closings they had just in the first 5 months of this year. Is outstanding. So appreciation of property, some areas, desirable areas in the path of progress are going up. Other areas that tend to be stagnant. Why would they be stagnant? Because they are just undesirable. Perhaps they're in areas that aren't growing. There is no access. There's nothing pushing them up, for example. There's nothing forcing any growth. But any area that I think you and your family would want to live is probably an area closer to civilization. And those properties are absolutely going up in value. So number 3, how has COVID affected the housing market? Again, absolutely exploded it. Number 4, how has COVID affected life in Belize in general? Well, obviously, over the past 12 to 15 months, business is down for Belize. Belize counts on tourism a lot, but Belize also was very, very cautious and treated COVID seriously. And so the tourism industry was greatly affected. Now they're seeing a large increase in tourism. All right, so tourism is rebounding. But again, we're just now starting to see the big rebound. But already right now, from what I hear, at least in Ambergris Caye, that over the Christmas and New Year's holidays, during that 2 week that a lot of people have off school and work, there's already, most hotels are fully booked. So we're going to see a big boom here in tourism coming back. As far as life in general, Belize, it's the same way as it's affecting almost every country in the world. You know, the wearing of masks, the curfews are being respected, things like that. Businesses have been limited to a large degree, but it looks like now with more and more people getting vaccinated and sort of having this wave kind of pass through, life is returning somewhat normal in most of the country. Number 5, we have 2 small children. If you wanted to move there full time, how is the school situation there, Ambergris or Placencia? So both are good options for you guys. Ambergris Caye probably has a larger number of options for you. They have a much larger population of people, for one. And so, for example, when you compare the size of Ambergris Caye to the size of Placencia, Ambergris Caye just has more children in general, so there's more schools, but they also have more expats, and not that we have expat schools compared to Belizean schools, right? We tend to have a nice integration of kids in the school system. But I would suggest you check out Island Academy on Ambergris Caye. That might be a good place to send the kids, depending on how old they are. And also a lot of the families too that I talk to are doing some sort of homeschooling anyway. Their online program, homeschooling, online tutors, things like that. Number 6, what is a monthly expenditure to live comfortably on Ambergris Caye or Placencia? I'm assuming it's a different cost of living. Here is where you get into some of the nitty gritty details. You know, for example, Ambergris Caye being an island, there is this reputation of things costing more. And sure, you know, I mean, mangoes on island have to be percentage wise a little bit more than on the mainland because it all has to be shipped out there. Properties are more expensive. Cost of living is a little bit more expensive. So you might pay a certain percentage points more to live on Ambergris Caye for things like food, maybe like, apartment rental and for sure land. But once you get to Ambergris Caye, you're going to be riding around in the golf cart, right? So golf carts are a lot cheaper than cars. If you're living in the mainland, you need a car. That means car insurance, car maintenance, car updates, gas for a vehicle. Whereas on Ambergris Caye, you're riding on the golf cart, right? So that expense is way down. So, you know, for things like that, it's really difficult to give a dollar amount. I mean, I know of couples, friends of mine, husband and wife couple who are living on, $1,000 a month on Ambergris Caye. That's a very low amount, and that includes their rent. So, for example, they were paying around $500 a month rent, and then they had $500 a month to eat. They were living on that. I certainly couldn't, the way Steph and I live, but I would say it depends too on if your housing is paid for. And it's basically it's very easy to do a budget in Belize. I mean, just take out an Excel spreadsheet, do a line item, food, internet, water, and a lot of those can be, the specifics can be garnered off the internet, but there's a wide range of prices. For example, if you live like a local, a lot of locals don't like air conditioning. They don't use air conditioning. All they use is ceiling fans and fans to, keep themselves cool at night. Their total electric bill might be 40, 50, $60 a month. Whereas if you're like Steph and Steph has a heat intolerance, and you need to keep the house at a cool, 67 degrees, 24/7, 365 days a year, then our electric bill was up. We had a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. So our electric bill was sometimes around the $400 a month range, but that included keeping it ice cold 24/7, washer and dryer, stove is electric, so that included everything. So you kind of got to look at that. Number 7, how does insurance work in Belize? We have something called all perils insurance. So you get your home insured, your condo insured, whatever it might be, and it includes everything. So hurricane, flood, fire, whatever could happen to it, it is covered. So we don't have those exclusions like you would have in Canada or the United States. As far as cost of your home insurance, that's, again, I can't even begin to answer that. A simple 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath Mennonite home made out of wood, that might cost you around $1,800, $1,900 US a year. But if you were to build that same style home out of concrete, probably looking half of that. Just depends on how big the house is and the materials it was made out of, combination of materials, all that kind of stuff. And car insurance, last time I had a car was, I think it's been 15 years, 17 years since I owned a car. I think my car insurance was, $300 or $400 a year. Golf cart insurance was like $60 a year. So, not much of a cost there. Number 8, my personal preference. Or first of all, life insurance. Yeah, you can get life insurance in Belize. I would just keep a life insurance policy on you in Canada, or get a global life insurance policy. Pretty easy to do there. Number 8, personal preferences would be Placencia, given that it's connected to the mainland, give us opportunity to have own a car and travel. Yeah, so Placencia. I'm first of all, I'm not bashing the mainland just because I'm pro Ambergris Caye. The only reason I am is because where Steph and I prefer to live, and we've lived in different parts of Belize. But the mainland is also really cool. I mean, to be able to jump in a car and drive somewhere. So you just got to ask yourself this: in a given year, 365 days in a year, how do you see yourself generally living? In other words, you wake up every day. What is your normal routine going to be like? What are the things you're going to want to be doing as a family, right? So, the kids got school, you got your normal daily routine. Maybe you're working online, or you got some sort of business you're running back in Canada or the US, whatever it might be. And then you got to say to yourself, okay, when are the times that I'm going to actually want to drive somewhere and actually, travel somewhere in Belize. So maybe it's, maybe it's once a month. You take a long weekend somewhere. Well, look at that. Say, okay, is it worth it for me to live in Placencia, to have a car, to be able to drive to the Mayan ruins or drive down to see the Mayan villages or something? When if I'm living on Ambergris Caye, if I really prefer the island life, if I prefer waking up on Ambergris Caye with all the benefits of being close to San Pedro and its tropical island, and then once every month or two, being able to just take the water taxi to Belize City, rent a car for 3 or 4 days, and then go. And when you're done, drop the car back off to the rental company, come back to the island, right? So you just got to see when you get down there where you feel like you're going to live your day-to-day life. All right. That's what I would suggest on that. And what style fits you guys the best? Is number 9, is the available healthcare to the standard of North American healthcare? So in Belize, I've had tremendous success and personal experience with the healthcare system in Belize. The 2 best hospitals are located in Belize City. So no matter if you live in Ambergris Caye or Placencia, if you need anything serious done, so an operation, a surgery, any sort of serious medical treatment, go to one of those 2 private hospitals. You can get local healthcare coverage in Belize through a company called RF&G. Those 2 hospitals called Belize Medical Associates and Belize Healthcare Partners, awesome medical care. They also have some small clinics in Placencia. Ambergris Caye has a little bit larger clinic, and they have a satellite office of Belize Medical Associates at the Grand Creve development on North Ambergris Caye. So anything happens to you on Ambergris Caye, they have good facilities as far as your standard doctor visits, your standard care. If an emergency happens, they have enough care there to kind of, button you up, get you into a secure spot, and then medevac you to Belize City to one of the private hospitals there. But that's what I recommend. I've done a full on video about healthcare in Belize. So just go to go to a YouTube channel, type in my name, Dennis K. Belize, and then healthcare. Or medical care in Belize. My video will pop up. I think it's an hour, 15 minutes, something like that. Answer that question in detail for you guys. All right. So listen, I hope this is helpful. And if you want to jump on a Zoom call with me, hit me up on the link below, my Buy Me a Coffee link. Steph and I really appreciate your support, guys. And why do we do this? Well, first of all, I just like coffee, and I appreciate when my clients just take care of us and buy us a couple cups of coffee. So I like it, but also because we don't charge anything. For example, to put this video together, to spend the time to go through the questions, to create the video, upload it, we don't charge for any of this. And due to the in volume of traffic, we want to make sure that we're working with those who have a serious interest in investing in Belize, buying property, owning property, because that's the way we get paid. And at the same time, being able to help people to get all the questions answered that they need to, so that they can make an informed decision on what part of the country is going to work best for them. So to do that, all we ask is that you go to the link below, buy us a couple cups of coffee, and then we can jump on a Zoom call together. We can talk about your specific needs, see how we can help, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. And have a great, Thursday, right? All right. Have a great Thursday. Talk to you soon.